Witnesses described a moment so still, it felt as though an entire audience forgot to breathe. Tonight, we take a closer look at the remarkable rise of Emanne Beasha, a young performer whose voice has captured global attention and sparked ongoing discussion across multiple continents. Her journey began quietly, far from the world's major media hubs, yet unfolded into one of the most widely shared talent show stories of the last decade. Analysts often compare the reaction to her early performances to a sudden cultural flashpoint, unexpected, deeply emotional, and impossible to ignore. Born in 2008 in Amman, Jordan, Beasha's background is as internationally layered as her vocal style. With Jordanian and American heritage, she grew up surrounded by two distinct cultural environments, yet neither suggested a path toward world stages. Reports indicate her parents first noticed her unusual vocal control at just 2 years old. What followed was a rapid progression from home singing to professional opera pieces, long before she reached primary school. Observers say this early development set the stage for a trajectory few could have predicted, especially considering the competitive landscape of global entertainment. But the story does not stop at early success. What makes Beasha noteworthy from a journalistic perspective is not simply her voice. It's the series of rapid transitions, unexpected challenges, and evolving public speculation surrounding her future. As we examine her path from regional stages to one of the world's biggest televised talent competitions, we uncover a narrative that blends prodigy-level skill with the pressures of sudden international visibility. And as this report reveals, there's much more to her story than the viral clips suggest. Experts say it's rare, almost unheard of, for opera technique to appear naturally in a child still learning basic language skills. According to early accounts from family, friends, and community members, Emanne Beasha's musical ability was observed long before she understood what opera even was. Local reports describe a toddler who could match pitch with startling accuracy and mimic complex melodies after hearing them only once. These observations became more notable around age 6, when she reportedly began singing full operatic pieces in Italian, a language she had not formally studied. Vocal coaches contacted for this report explain that such instinctive phrasing and tonal placement are typically seen only in teens with years of training. Her upbringing played an interesting role as well. Amman, a city rich with cultural tradition but not widely recognized as a global opera hub, offered an environment that required her family to seek unconventional forms of training. Sources indicate that much of her early development came from online materials, informal coaching sessions, and constant self-driven practice. This unusual path raised questions even then. How does a child in a non-opera-dominant region develop such a sound? Music analysts point to a mix of natural resonance, early exposure, and intuitive learning, factors that remain difficult to replicate or fully explain. As her skill grew, so did local fascination. Reports circulated around community events and family gatherings, eventually leading to discussion about entering her into formal competitions. That budding interest would soon propel her far beyond casual performances, and what followed next signaled the beginning of her rise into televised history. What began as a regional audition quickly turned into a phenomenon larger than anyone involved could have forecast. Emanne Beasha stepped onto the stage of Arab's Got Talent in 2017 at just 8 years old. Journalists covering the season recall the immediate shift in the room as she began her audition, an atmosphere described as stunned silence mixed with disbelief. Footage from the event shows judges visibly reacting within seconds, and viewers across the region responded with the same astonishment once the episode aired. Her performance, which blended youthful presence with unexpected vocal maturity, led to a golden buzzer moment that quickly spread through pan-Arab media outlets. Throughout the season, coverage only intensified. Each round brought escalating viewership and expanded audience discussion, particularly around how such a young performer could deliver pieces typically reserved for seasoned adults. In the final round, She would go on to perform Time to Say Goodbye, generating widespread press attention and ultimately securing her victory. Analysts point out that her win was more than a talent show success. It became a national point of pride. This was further emphasized when she received the Medal of Merit Gold from King Abdullah II, a rare recognition for someone of her age. For reporters tracking regional talent competitions, the scale of her impact was unprecedented. The question emerging from press rooms across the region was clear. Would she remain a local sensation, or was she on track for a global debut? That answer arrived sooner than expected, as producers and scouts looked beyond immediate borders and toward a much larger stage. The moment her audition aired in the United States, social media metrics spiked in multiple countries at once, a rare cross-continental reaction for any performer, let alone a child. In 2019, Beasha appeared on America's Got Talent, a move that placed her on one of the world's most-watched talent platforms. Her choice of Nessun Dorma, a highly challenging operatic piece, signaled to both the audience and critics that she was not merely repeating previous successes, she was escalating them. Reporters covering the episode noted that judges responded with instant praise, and early online clips gathered millions of views within hours. This surge confirmed what many had suspected. Beasha's appeal extended far beyond the Middle East. Her momentum increased further in the Judge Cuts round, where she performed Caruso and received a golden buzzer from guest Judge Jay Leno. Journalists who track talent show statistics highlighted an extraordinary fact. She became one of the only performers in the franchise's global history to earn major honors in two separate national versions of the show. This distinction placed her in a unique media category, an international prodigy crossing markets seamlessly. Although she finished ninth in the finals, analysts argue that rankings mattered little compared to the exposure. Coverage spanned traditional news outlets, entertainment networks, and classical music publications, all evaluating the implications of a young opera singer appealing to mainstream audiences. But behind the applause and expanding fan base, another angle of the story began forming, one that explored the pressures accompanying sudden international fame. After meteoric global attention, the silence that followed raised more questions than answers. Following her rapid climb, Beasha's schedule reportedly intensified, with international travel, interviews, and vocal preparation becoming routine. Experts in child performance psychology often highlight the challenges of balancing schooling, personal development, and public expectations, and Beasha's situation fits squarely into those discussions. Reporters covering performing arts sectors noted increasing concern about young prodigies facing heavy workloads, even when opportunities appear glamorous on the surface. In early 2020, just as she completed performances with world-renowned violinist Andre Rieu, the global shutdown brought her rising trajectory to an unexpected halt. Media analysts observed a sudden drop in live events, interviews, and promotional activity, factors that naturally affected all performers during that period. Yet in Beasha's case, observers wondered how such a pause might influence artistic growth for someone still developing vocally. The interruption sparked quiet speculation in online forums and music commentary spaces. Would the hiatus stall her momentum or provide space for a crucial creative transition? With limited public appearances, anticipation grew around how she might reemerge, and in what musical form. That anticipation set the stage for a noticeable shift in her later public updates. When her first post-hiatus clip surfaced, viewers noticed something different, subtle, but impossible to miss. In the years following the global slowdown, Beasha began reappearing on social platforms with signs of artistic expansion. Reporters monitoring youth talent trends observed that she now incorporated guitar playing into her updates, a clear departure from the strictly operatic branding of her earlier years. This raised discussions about a possible shift toward a more contemporary or crossover identity, an evolution not uncommon for young singers transitioning through adolescence. Her voice, naturally maturing with age, demonstrated warmer tones and expanded interpretive abilities. Music journalists pointed out that as young classical performers grow older, adjustments in technique are expected and often necessary. In Beasha's case, viewers noted increased stylistic variety in her posts, including softer pop-leaning covers and experimental phrasing. Though no official announcement has been made about a genre shift, industry watchers continue to speculate about whether she may be exploring multiple lanes simultaneously. Her social media presence, particularly through Instagram, reveals glimpses into her artistic process, though still carefully curated. These posts generate discussion across fan communities, with many analyzing what each clip might suggest about long-term goals. And as the conversation expands, another question begins to form. What will her next major public step be? Few performers create global waves before finishing elementary school. Fewer still maintain public interest as they grow. Emanne Beasha's story represents more than early talent. It illustrates the complexities of navigating international recognition at a formative age. Cultural analysts note that her identity as a Jordanian-American performer singing Italian opera positioned her at a unique intersection. She became a symbol of cross-cultural artistry, attracting journalists who sought to understand how her background influenced her musical choices. Her journey underscores key themes shaping modern entertainment: the fast pace of viral exposure, the challenge of sustaining momentum, and the evolving expectations placed on young public figures. While her early achievements remain widely celebrated, the true focus now lies on her unfolding transition from prodigy to developing artist. Music commentators frequently emphasize that this period, where new influences shape direction, is often the most defining stage of a career. As conversations continue about her potential paths, whether full classical training, opera-pop crossover, or a broader contemporary approach, one thing remains consistent. Her early performances still circulate online with strong resonance, drawing new viewers each year. This suggests that regardless of where she heads next, her foundation has already left a measurable imprint on global audiences. In reviewing the trajectory of Emanne Beasha, the evidence paints a picture of a young performer whose influence far exceeded her age. From early discovery in Jordan to sweeping victories on regional and international talent stages, each chapter of her story demonstrates both the promise and pressure inherent in rapid public ascent. Analysts continue to track her evolution as she experiments with new styles and navigates the natural vocal changes that accompany adolescence. What remains undeniable is the staying power of her early impact. Even years after her televised breakthrough, clips of her performances continue generating commentary, shares, and renewed astonishment. Some experts interpret this as a sign that her voice tapped into something universally resonant, an ability to capture attention across languages, cultures, and demographics. As she continues shaping her artistic direction, one question persists among reporters, critics, and fans alike. What will this young artist choose for her next major chapter? While the answer remains uncertain, one truth is clear. When Emanne Beasha sang, the world paused, if only for a moment, to witness something rare. And her story, far from finished, continues to